Jack, thanks so much for being with us here today. Really appreciate
My pleasure.
your time.
Thank you.
So where did you first find your love for basketball?
Growing up as a kid in Brooklyn, playing basketball in the schoolyard. I mean, the neighborhood I grew up in, Flatbush, it's an area, everything in Brooklyn is based upon your parish, the church that you go to, the school that you go to. So I grew up in St. Brendan's, and basically everyone in the neighborhood would go play ball at the schoolyard. I grew up about 7 blocks from the schoolyard, so I would dribble the ball to the schoolyard with my right hand and dribble home my left hand, you know. And so you just grow up around it, and you develop a passion for it and a love for it.
How has your love affair for the game changed over the years?
Well, it's evolved, obviously, because you go from a kid with a dream of playing in Madison Square Garden or being a center fielder for the New York Yankees, and then reality hits and you realize you're not that good. But I still had the love for the sport. I think if you follow the path of the thing that you love, you end up, things happen. And there's a lot of twists and turns, and there's a lot more failure than there is success. But nonetheless, I'd rather fail at something I love than succeed at something I hate.
What's the best part of your job?
The best part of my job is I'm hanging out in the gym every day. I'm hanging out with basketball people. I'm hanging out with coaches and players and referees and scouts and executives and broadcasters and writers and more importantly than anything else, fans that all have the same thing. They love it. They love it. They love it. And to me, that's the best part of my job. You got to have fun. We're in this. You look at the title of what's the title of ESPN? Entertainment and Sports Network. What's the title of the company that owns the Toronto Raptors and the Toronto Maple Leafs and FC and the Marlies? Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. And to me, my job is to not only inform you and tell you why and tell you how. That's my job as an analyst. I got to be really good at telling you why something happened. I got to be really good telling you how something happened. The what's and all that stuff, that's the play-by-play guy. That's the host. But I got to break it down for you. But in addition to that, I think there are times where you got to change your voice level. You got to have fun with it. You got to bring a smile to someone's face. You got to make yourself look like an idiot. You got to have self-deprecation. You got to entertain. You got to have fun.
It was a packed house at the Powerade Center as the Brampton Beast hosted the Adirondack Thunder on Monday's Family Day Special. Coming into the matchup, the Beasts are looking to record their first Family Day win in franchise history. Alrighty, let's take you to the first, where Beast captain Brandon Marino's taking a few shots he doesn't like from Thunder forward Brian Ward, so they decide to drop the mitts and have a go, with Ward scoring the takedown. Fast forward to later in the first, Thunder forward Paul Rodriguez sneaks behind defenseman Willie Korn for the partial breakaway, but Beast goalie Chris Dredger shuts the door and we remain scoreless after one. Jumping right into the second period, Thunder forward James Henry scores a beauty, picking up his own rebound just 58 seconds into the period, making it 1-0 for the Thunder. Later on in the period, the Beasts get a scoring chance from Marino, but he just can't find the back of the net, and we head into the third period with the Thunder still up 1-0. Now into the third period, the Beasts have possession of the puck at the point, and McLean throws it on net for Jackson Leaf, who tips it home to even the score at 1 apiece. And the Thunder must have liked that play, because moments later, Dylan Olsen throws the puck on net, and Terrence Wallen directs it home to retake the lead. In a last-minute effort to even up the game, the Beast pull goalie Chris Dredger, but the effort comes up short as Brian Ward sends the puck a full length into the empty net, giving the Thunder the 3-1 victory.
Our offense is going, and obviously we're getting some pretty good goaltending from both goalies, which is nice. Kind of just clicking in all zones.
It seemed like we were pushing all night for a goal, and we got a good balance up at the blue line, and Muck seemed to get a good shot on net, and I was lucky enough to be there. So, I got a nice tip on it, and I don't think the goalie had a chance. So.
We just didn't have it tonight. They were better than us. They worked harder. They got the loose pucks. They won stick battles. They competed harder. They were a little fresher, and obviously a tough second goal, but we just didn't have enough in the tank to get her done.
The Beasts are set to take off for a 3-game road trip before returning home on Tuesday, February 27th in a battle against the Worcester Railers. Puck drop is at 7:15 p.m. here at the Powerade Center. For your Sheridan, I'm Liam Rowe.
Daniel Goodman had no plans of being a professional athlete. Goodman is a University of Toronto student studying communication, design, and professional writing at the Mississauga campus. He was born with spastic cerebral palsy, a neurological disorder that affects brain function, in this case specifically to his legs. During his adolescent years, Goodman underwent many surgeries to each leg to help with puberty and growth. This resulted in a dependence on painkillers. Today, Goodman is at his strongest.
I lost a lot of weight from all these drugs, and then I got off of these painkillers, and I started going to the gym. It's not just feeling good and looking good, it's also a necessity, because when you're going through colder temperatures and stuff, my body gets really tight, so it's actually like pivotal to me that I get to the gym, because the next day if I don't, I'm going to be locked up and in a lot of pain. So for me, it's not just a lifestyle choice, it's like a necessity. I train under Athletics Canada as a potential Paralympic hopeful. I do sprints from 100 to 400. I'm in my first year, so I have the least experience on the level of talent that our squad encompasses. It was very humbling. You know, when I went to that training camp, one of our guys from Montreal was an Olympic powerlifter, and on his way to mail his application, he got in a severe car accident and his spine disconnected. And this guy said, I cannot recover and not still compete. So he went and he competed. And that to me was like so, sorry, I'm getting a little choked up here. It was just really, really inspiring to like see those people go through these things and still push to be some of the best athletes in the world. That to me is like, there's something magical about what the human spirit can go through. And it really humbled me in saying like, there is no excuse I have for anything to not be able to do what I want to do every day in my life.
For your Sheridan, I'm Dragan Maricic.
How can you study when there's no teacher in the class, no help? Are you kidding me?
The College Student Alliance has organized a rally at Queen's Park where many students across Ontario and multiple MPPs have gathered to voice their concerns on the college strike.
In an education said to be designed for students, people are finding it harder and harder to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And this is why we're here today.
The College Student Alliance is a non-for-profit organization. Its mandate is to look out for the best interest of all college students in Ontario.
I'm hopeful it's going to get settled very soon. Unfortunately, they're only putting out a small amount of information at this point. We haven't seen any new proposals come out from either side, but if they're at least at the table, they're willing to discuss what's at least there, if not something new.
We are worth it!
Members of the CSA, students, and even various MPPs spoke to the energetic crowd of protesters.
Faculty should not be forced into this situation of having to reapply for jobs every 4 months.
The NDP has stood with students long before this strike started. We're going to continue to stand with students long after it is settled.
We need wins!
meet our concerns. I know that there's been lots of concern about the quality of education being lost. There's been concern about wanting tuition back and refunds that way. There's been even concerns about mental health during this because there's been no counselors.
With the strike now in its third week, both parties are back at the table and looking to make a deal. Government officials, faculty members, and most importantly, the students are hopeful for a quick resolution. For the Sheridan Sun, I'm Liam Rowe.
Sheridan belongs to the classroom! Nothing more! Nothing else!